Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 228 of Hobby Hotline. Cousin Tony here, and along with me, I have Victor and Adam. Guys, how you feeling?
Doing good, man. That intro, I don't know what it is about it. I just feel like running through a brick wall every time I hear it.
Yeah, for sure. It's really good, man. But Adam, how you feeling this morning, brother?
Yeah, doing well. Weekend, uh, one step closer to opening day for baseball. That's always exciting. One day closer to the NCAA tournament. That's another exciting thing we got coming up. So, doing well.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I know that's next weekend, I believe, is
Yeah, I think
or the
selection. I
week,
think
the one 2 weeks.
yeah, selection Sunday is on next Sunday. I think this weekend, and then like in this week coming up, we have a lot of the like conference tournaments and stuff. I think Duke and UNC played the other night in the ACC tournament, so that's always
Yeah,
always an exciting game, even without Roy Williams and Coach K. It's always an exciting one.
that's nice. The I know that landscape has changed completely with those two guys not being there. So it's interesting to see where we're going to be headed with those two programs. So we'll see. But real quick, just get to these comments real quick. Stoop says, "Good morning, all."
Stooks.
Turkey, yep. How are you, everyone? And as always, a big thank you to the guys up in New Buffalo. Appreciate you guys having us on the big screen. And wow, there's a big
Nice. What's
all
up,
the way
Oh
from
Antonio?
wow,
Juarez,
very cool.
Mexico,
We're
Antonio. Thank you.
worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is awesome. But so guys, I wanted to kick it off here with a bit of a topic that could be a bit of a hot button topic, if you will, and it's the old debate of the autograph vintage rookie cards. And I know, like for a long time in the hobby, it was seen as a no, but as of late, I'm kind of seeing that change a little bit. And there's a recent auction that I'll share here in a minute, but I wanted to get you guys, your thoughts on that uh topic as a whole. Pro cons, stuff like that. So Victor, I'll let you go last because you're kind of the this is
Okay.
your wheelhouse. So we'll kick
Okay.
it to Adam. We'll kick it to Adam first here and see, Adam, what are your thoughts on like say a Sandy Koufax autographed rookie card?
Yeah, it is interesting because I have seen like a lot of recent auctions with, and maybe I don't know actually, maybe it's something that's trending or something. I don't know, but I have seen recently a lot more auctions. And I hadn't even thought about it until we kind of started discussing topics for today. And so I think, you know, with those sets, I think it is definitely different than like getting a modern rookie card graded. I mean,
Mhm.
with like vintage stuff, and I don't even ever. I think sometimes people overuse the term vintage at a time. Like sometimes people just call vintage anything that's like pre 1990, which like there is a determination, but like I'm when I'm using vintage, I use like the 60s to like the 80s kind of. So I mean, if you look at those rookies, like the legends that kind of came from that era, they really only had that one card that was either like a tops or
Mhm.
Fleer in some cases. So like I think that does make a difference if you're comparing them to like getting a card signed nowadays. Cause like I think the one thing that's sort of like almost taboo in the hobby is like the autographed card if it's post like production,
Right.
if it's like a sticker autograph or it's like comes out of the pack autograph, that's obviously a little bit different. But like I do think that the autographs of some of these players too are probably a little bit more scarce. Like you're probably not. I mean, unfortunately for some of them, some of the players have probably passed away. I haven't necessarily seen any specific players off the top of my head, but like you're not you literally can't get any more of those autographs. But like even like Joe Montana or like maybe a Jerry Rice, not Mickey Mantle, maybe in that other conversation, but like those types of players, like I'm sure they're like actually sorry for Joe Montana, for example, like his autograph on a card, like I remember a couple shows back we were talking about, I think it was either the Dallas show or the Philly show. They have like the TriStar autograph people. And if you want to get a Joe Montana, if you want to get Joe Montana to sign his rookie card, I think it was like a couple $100. So it's like I think that scenario too is a little bit different. A lot of the players aren't just freely signing rookie cards like that. So I think that they're cool. Like it's not necessarily I'm actively searching for them, but like I definitely have seen recently that there's been, on Twitter and social media and stuff like that, there has been a little bit of an uptick. And like I said, I hadn't noticed it until we really brought it up. And then thinking back, I sort of noticed it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely been a landscape. Victor, what are you thinking as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think, historically speaking, it's always been something very taboo to write on vintage cards. Okay. I know we used to put our initials somewhere like on the back of the card or something, or make some type of marking like on the checklist and that sort of thing. And it's always been kind of taboo to like do not write on your cards has always been the message, right?
Hmm.
And so uh, the reason why that is because we've always felt that writing on the card would devalue it. That's always been the mindset, right? And so as the hobby has evolved, we get into, well, we rookie card autographs are very popular, right, in the ultra modern generation. So we've kind of taken a page from that and says, man, what if we get the rookie cards autographed? I think that would kind of give them a boost. And there's a remnant of people that are still very against it, and there's a remnant of those who are not. And so I fall in the camp that I am totally for it. I think it's an awesome thing. It really gives it like revitalizes these cards. Here's one that I have with
Yeah.
Juan Marichal.
Nice.
All right. And then I got another one. I didn't like the 1969 Topps Raleigh Fingers rookie card because it's like one of those dual autographs.
Hmm.
But I got his second year autographed. And here's the thing that I have living in the Chicagoland region that I do with the Chicago Sports Spectacular and the National. I have an opportunity to get all kinds of rookie cards autographed because it's local to me. And there's a big show like every 3 months that if I wanted to, I can get tons of these. And it's something that I started to get into and I started to pursue, but I started to get a little turned off with the upcharges of signing a rookie card. You go now, and if you get a big name, they're going to want to upcharge you like $200-300, sometimes more than that, to sign a rookie card. And that just left a really bad taste in my mouth. And I'm like, I can see a little upcharge. If you want to hit me up for an extra 25 because it's a rookie card, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But when you start, $300 to sign a rookie card, I'm like, no, thank you. So it really deterred me from pursuing it further. And those are kind of my thoughts on it. I love them. I think they're great. And I think it just revitalizes some of these vintage rookie cards that just kind of brings them back to life in a new way.
Yeah, good point. DG makes an excellent point here. I wanted to read because vintage players had such looking autographs that were legible and add
Yeah.
great eye appeal to these cards, unlike today's signatures, which are chicken scratch. I couldn't agree more. It's
Yep.
just they don't teach cursive anymore in school.
Right.
To be honest, everything is pretty much digital, so it is what it is there.
Yep.
I wanted to share this auction here. Here you guys. You can see, get your thoughts on this guy here. So Clemente autographed there, and it's a $240,000 card.
Phew.
So so much for devaluing it, right?
I got to say, I have never seen many rookie card autographs of Roberto Clemente. I mean, that's got to be what the population on that's got to be extremely low, I would think.
It has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be, and so it's nice to see that. And yeah, I think that it's something that now people are more accepting of. So I'm happy to see that kind of change. But we'll see where it goes. Do you guys anticipate picking any up anytime soon?
Yeah, I think I'm not necessarily into. I don't know the market well enough. I think for autographs, like it's one of the things where I feel like it's almost a crapshoot at times when you're trying to find prices of certain autographs. Like even like not necessarily rookie autographs, because I feel like with rookies, that's where you're getting most of their autographs. But like, Mike Trout or second or third or fourth year autographs, I don't necessarily know the market enough to know what a good price would be to pick up any of those cards. And I think, yeah, for example, like that Clemente right there, like that's one where it's like, unless like, Topps or Panini or Fanatics or Upper Deck or whoever has some cut autos of Roberto Clemente, like you're never going to find a new Roberto Clemente rookie card or signed card.
Right.
So like for that one, for example, like you were saying, there's probably such a low pop on that. Like I can't imagine that there's too many of those cards that are in existence. And even at like a 4.5 grade, like if you're getting an autograph card, that grade I don't think really is super influential on the price. I mean, if it's a high grade, obviously, but it's like, it's there has to be less than 50 of those signed Clemente cards. Like I can't imagine, because even back in the day, like when that card came out, or like when Clemente was still like alive, like I can't imagine people had the foresight to be like, hey, can you sign this rookie card for me? Like I don't think that was part of it. Like nowadays it may be a little bit different, but like that's why I think like those cards are, if you have the funds to pick up those cards, I think they're great. But for someone like me, like I just don't know the market well enough, so it's probably not something that I would pick up myself. But like I think it's a phenomenal card.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and for me, I'm out. I tapped out. I don't like, again, the upcharges, but even on the secondary market, these cards are drawing such a premium that I just not that I'm priced out, but that I have other priorities. I guess you can say that I'm not willing to allocate the funds to pursue that right now. Who knows down the road?
Right. Just some little comment here said from Stukes baseball cards. Friend of mine had an issue getting Paul Hornung signed his rookie card. Paul didn't want to sign. He eventually did, but wasn't happy. Called my friend a few choice names about 10 years ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, I guess, some of those guys see it as, oh, you're going to, use my autograph to sell it and stuff. But some people could very well be just collecting it. Like, no, this is going to stay with me. So.
I do think that there's actually a set within Contenders football a couple of years ago where like it was like a dual set where there was like, it looked like almost the cards were supposed to be autographed. I don't know if you guys remember that specific card, but like I think it would be interesting if somehow Topps or Fanatics, like this may be an idea for them this is free for them. I'm not going to charge them for this idea, but in the future, if they have any ideas, I may charge them for them. But like, I think like if they came out with a set that like was almost like a golden ticket set where it's like, it was a card that wasn't autographed, but it looked like it was supposed to be autographed, but it gave you like some sort of fan experience where you got to meet the player and he signed the card and it became like this whole thing. I think that would be really cool. Like, actually, I think who it was? I think it was AJ Dillon. He had a Jordan Love and somebody else. I think it might have been like Justin Herbert. I forget exactly who it was, but like he just had him sign the card, and like, because obviously Jordan Love, AJ Dillon on the same team. He just had him sign the card, and then he must have had the other player sign it. But like, I think that there's a kind of a cool opportunity, maybe like a little bit of a niche sort of thing. Like, everybody may not love the idea, but like I think there could be some sort of idea where you get a card and it's like a golden ticket experience type of thing where you get to meet the player and you get them to sign the card, but it's like it's a card that's specifically made for that reason. I think
I got
would
you.
be kind of cool.
Yeah, good segue.
What about you, Tony? Before we move on,
Dude, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I think it just adds the vintage cards because like someone mentioned with the way that they write, it's very nice. I mean, that one Clemente auto, it's a little shaky compared. So his autograph is very strange, man. Sometimes it was, I guess maybe how he was holding the item, but yeah, I just think that it just looks really cool. Obviously, if it's not over if it's over the player's face, but some of those guys have very sweet autographs, and it just, man, it's like that. Just the autograph in itself is an art piece. Then you put it on top of the card, and it's the rookie card. That thing is fantastic. So before we switch, I just want to get to some of these comments here. Kevin says his neighbor worked at Ford Field in the 50s and 60s, has tons of signed vintage cards from that era. So he's got to have some really nice names. Rex says he's in the minority, but he loves in-person on-card autos and rookie cards. Yeah, and I think that whole thought process is starting to change just a little bit, just because of some of the way that these newer autographs are. So TG says, 100% agree. And younger collectors don't like them, which is why I'm all about them. Think they will gain appreciation over time versus modern manufactured autos. Absolutely. So, Adam, you actually transitioned very nicely. I think you're a pro at this. You're talking about player experiences, and we wanted to talk about the Fanatics player relations. There was a recent hire, and Fanatics hired actually one of the NBA's most prominent agents. I'm talking about Omar Wilkes. So he's going to come over. He comes over from Clutch Sports. So he's going to kind of be leading the charge in getting these relationships between players, athletes, celebrities, and Fanatics to further the product. Further, one of the things is experiences. So I definitely want to get your take on that. So what are you guys thinking on this, as far as where we're headed with Mr. Wilkes and Fanatics?
Go ahead, Adam. You can start.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Fanatics already has really good player relationships. Like, a lot of autographs, like they have a lot of autographs and they do a lot of like stuff already. So I think that this is almost just like, it's icing on the cake for them in a way, like trying to get more player relations. And I mean, I think, the name obviously coming over from Clutch Sports, I think it's pretty, I don't know if it's like a well-known or if it's like a secret in the hobby, but like, we know that LeBron and Rich Paul don't like Panini, like because I think there was a rumor that Panini held out some of LeBron's rookie autographs, like when he was a rookie. So like that's why you don't see any LeBron autographs, any Panini products nowadays. And that's why I think because he also has the exclusive with Upper Deck. I don't necessarily know if this means that like we're gonna see LeBron switching over to Fanatics from Upper Deck. I don't know like where exactly it's going to go, but I think like getting someone from essentially LeBron's player agency to be the head of player relations for your company, if you are a company that makes stuff that's autographed, I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction if you're trying to get LeBron. We did see like Topps was talking about like they were going to have one of the biggest sports card announcements of the decade coming up in the next few weeks. Like there's been some speculation on what that could be. In my opinion, if they got LeBron somehow, like if he switched his deal like over from Upper Deck to Topps, I think that would be great. I think the other thing with that is that like I forget exactly the details of it, but I think LeBron isn't part of the Players Association or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but that's why after he retires, he most likely was not going to have any cards in Panini products. That's why you don't see Michael Jordan in any Panini products, like because they're not part of, I think, the Retired Players Association. I forget like I said, it's something along those lines. I forget the exact details of it, but I think that's just, like I said, another, if Fanatics' goal is to try and lock up LeBron to be a Topps athlete or to be like in Topps products after he retires, that's a great step in the right direction. I think the other hire that they did too was they brought in the old Red Bull CMO to be their CMO. So like that's another great thing. But I mean, overall, I think, like I said, if they're trying to get LeBron, you're essentially going right to the source. You basically are getting somebody who has LeBron's ear. So I think, a great move. I think pretty smart by them.
Yeah. It's there's, as you're talking, I'm thinking there's a bunch of little puzzle pieces that are coming together with this, our next topic and stuff like that. But I'll let Victor go, because like you can kind of see where this is maybe heading. But Victor, what are you thinking with the hires?
Yeah, man, I tell you, I don't envy these guys' position. I tell you what, they're going to be in charge. They're going to be the liaison, right, between the Fanatics and the players. And he's going to have to deal with the load management, right, and the ego, and oh boy, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But as far as and all I really know is the article that was released. I read the article. Doesn't give you a lot of details, but if you read between the lines, and I was listening to a great episode this morning by Neo Cards and Comics, and he was kind of in the same boat, just kind of reading between the lines, and there seems to be a sentiment that these companies are renegotiating contracts, and I think that's where they're at right now. I think You can probably throw Upper Deck in there with the LeBron and Michael Jordan agreements. It seems like we're all coming back to the table, renegotiating how this is going to look for the next 2 years. So, real interesting with the big, um, hires that they made, and we'll see, man. That's all I can really say on it.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Adam said, you're if the goal is to get LeBron, which is probably one of the bigger draws, obviously in the hobby, um, these little pieces are starting to come together, and we're going to talk about it. And then they got his son coming up,
Mhm.
so it's interesting to see. Obviously, moves are being made, like you said, and maybe now these companies got to rethink the way it was because things are changing pretty quickly. Like all of a
Mm.
sudden, we hit, and bam, these guys have hit the ground running. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it affects cards as a whole. I know there's going to be more eyes and things like that. And I'm always a big believer, the more the merrier. But now, with these other different concepts, how is that going to affect the collectible at the end of the day? I guess we shall see. But I mean, man, this guy, he's obviously super connected. And talking about Omar Wilkes, he's got guys, he had Trey and all these guys. So, um, man, like when you're talking about experiences, I saw one of the things on the article was that he's going to, try and facilitate athlete experiences or so whatever that is. Hopefully, it's something better than getting followed on Instagram. That Mike Trout thing where somebody follows on Instagram, I don't know. That's kind of it's kind of corny to me. But Adam, I saw you. What are your thoughts on that with the Trout and the Instagram?
I think we talked about a little bit on Tuesday's show as well,
Yeah.
and I think Erica said sort of the same thing. I mean, for kids nowadays, that is a big deal. So, I mean, in
Yeah,
my
it is.
opinion,
Yeah.
for for adults, maybe it's not as big of a deal, but I think for like kids and people that are younger in general, like I do think that the following on Instagram is a big deal in my opinion. I guess it's more maybe not. It's not necessarily maybe for everybody, but for some people, I think it is pretty cool.
Right. No worries. Just a cameo back there. No worries. Real quick, Ziggy asks, he goes, if UPC LeBron, is LeBron mass signing for Fanatics good for collectors or good for business? Why is LeBron auto easy good? That's why Jordan and LeBron are special. So I guess he's saying, no, there's not, you can't get them. But is it good if it eventually LeBron ends up at Fanatics and then there's a million LeBron autographs? I mean, obviously, then maybe the value goes down, but more people are able to have them. What do you guys, Victor? What do you think when is more good or not?
Yeah, I think I don't think I don't think he would sign a ton of product. I really don't. I think he's up there at that level with like Jordan and that, and
Hmm.
them guys. They don't, we can even throw Gretzky in there. I mean, them guys, they don't sign very often, but when they do, it's special, right? And we don't want to dilute the market with a ton of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, he has his own kind of deal where he's like you said, he's so big, he's bigger than life, he can kind of
Right.
control it. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. What are you guys gonna do about it? So
Right. It could be like Mbappe too, where like Mbappe is like his autographs. I don't know what his deal is or how much he's making, but like he literally didn't have autographs until like last year, where he had that one the PSG box where you got like a Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar auto all in the same box, which
mhm.
I think the box were like $13,000 a piece, which is kind of crazy. And then he signed the exclusive with Panini, which was definitely, obviously that's a phenomenal business move. I think Mbappe, out of any player, has made sort of a lot of good money moves throughout sort of his career, like re-signing with PSG. I mean, he could go anywhere he wants, but I think it'll be kind of similar with LeBron. Like we might get like, he might be in like the national treasures of whatever the national treasures is of the future. And then there may be like I don't know, like some sort of special box with his autograph in it. I don't think he's like, that Bowman photo that was like the stacks of like thousands and
Yeah,
thousands of autographs. Like he is maybe signing 10, but he's going to be making a decent amount on those autos, but I don't think that it's going to be like an influx of his autographs. I mean, unless he gets some sort of piece of Fanatics or something along those lines, like unless
yeah,
he's getting like big bucks, like, but even at the same time for him, like he has enough he has enough ways that he's making money, even not even on the court, like off the court. Like I think he's like the first billionaire, like other than like Jordan, that's a basketball player. So like he has ways of making money off the court that, you know, if Fanatics comes to him and says, hey, can you sign these like 10 cards? He might even be like, I'll sign 5. And they're like, okay, perfect. We'll take 5. Like that's all we want.
Yeah. Like, I mean, 1 million Cup project says, he goes, also realize the cost is crazy high. That's why companies don't produce high end player autos. So, you know, we'll see. Rex makes a good point about the follow back. You know, big league baseball is geared towards kids. That's the set where the follow back cards will be. They will love it. I absolutely agree.
But my thing, like, what if an older collector that isn't even on Instagram, what if he pulls it? I mean, what does he want with that card, right? But I think it was our friends over at Card Minches, who are hobby hotline crews, right? Part of the crew. They were talking about it last night. So, I mean, I'm just wondering, I wish I had the logistics on how this is going to look. Are they going to give me just like a shout out on my Instagram? Are they going to follow me? Are we going to have like a relationship? Or
hey guys, going to be like FaceTiming and doing lives with Trout, you know? Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, the other thing with that too is like I think that's what you said is kind of funny, but it's also like something like that. Like if you were to get Mike Trout to shout out your company on Instagram, that's like thousands of dollars that people are charging. So, and I mean, I kind of look at it maybe similar to like how the Gary V came out with boxes, and like you could have pulled like the 5-minute FaceTime or whatever those cards were. Like some people probably looked at that and were like, that's pretty corny. Like, why would anybody want to FaceTime Gary V? But like, there's people out there, and you know, for me, right? I think I would be an example. Like I would be like, holy crap, that's awesome. Like I would definitely want to do that. So like, I think that there are things that they're trying to create that aren't for everybody, but like, I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see sort of how that plays out. Like, you know, I mean, it's just an example. Like if you look at, I'll use Gary V as an example. Like there's people all the time you see on Twitter that are like, holy crap, Gary V just followed me. It's like, it's a big deal, but like, I think in some cases, you know, I don't know. I mean,
the overall
really
concept, I like. It's something new. It's cool, and I like it.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that's the future of the hobby, those guys. So while it may not mean anything to a guy 65 years old, that kid that's 13, 14, 15, that's the world. And that guy's, you know, he's got a whole life to live ahead in the hobby, where the other guys are kind of on the way out. But yeah, it's, you know, that you said it. For me, big deal if Mike Trout follow. It doesn't do anything for me, but you know, if I have a 7-8-year-old son, I can absolutely see why they would like that. And it's cool. I mean, anything that out of the box thinking to innovate the hobby, to keep bringing more eyes, what's wrong with that? You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. Let's get to a couple of comments here. It says Jordan will never leave Upper Deck. He also hates signing. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Jordan is he's a special cat, I guess we should say. The Bronny stuff I'll get to, because that's actually going to lead into the next topic. But it says LeBron's autos will not be everywhere. He knows his value. He's not going to sit down and sign. Exactly. He said 10,000 autographs for pennies on a dollar, where he can make much more in other avenues. Yeah. I mean, he can just show up wherever he wants, and people are going to pay whatever he wants. So,
I mean, he could also come out with like his own unlicensed set and sell them probably for more than Topps cards would sell. So like for him, it's probably more of like a value, like especially at this point in his career. Like, sure, there's probably a money aspect, but it's also probably like a legacy thing for him. Like what's gonna leave more of an impact on kind of the thing that he's doing, which in this case maybe it's autographs or cards or whatever.
Yeah. Rex said, you know, there's big thing was that coming out of that conference was they talked about eliminating redemptions entirely. So he said, this is why they're coming up with different types of hits. I think it's a lot easier to fulfill a fan experience than it is a redemption. No, you know,
definitely.
I would think so. So, you know, you also see more game used relics instead of autos in the future. Before we switch off, what if you could come up with an idea of a game experience, athlete experience, what would it be? What do you think, Victor? Go ahead.
Oh wow!
Anything like, you know, whatever, meet this guy or do something, something out of the box that we haven't seen in a product involving an athlete experience.
Yeah, I think going to a game and getting a chance to spend 5 minutes with him, maybe in the locker room,
Yeah.
or maybe, you know, out on the court or something. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe get to sit down at the bench with them, or maybe go sit in the
Mm.
dugout or something. That would be cool. That would really be cool.
Yeah. Nice. Adam?
I think I guess it's kind of sport by sport, but I think it would be
Mhm.
kind of cool if they could do something with the NFL where it's like you can call a play, or like,
Nice.
if
Yeah.
it's throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game, or if it's like you can do something on the court or something along those lines. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's like,
Yeah.
You announce the starting lineup. I mean, there's
There you
literally
go.
endless amounts of
Yep.
things that like
Coming
you
out of the
could think
tunnel.
of, like
Yep.
just like random things, or I mean, even if it's like, you get to come out of the tunnel with the players, and it's like you like almost like how they do like some I don't want to compare it, but Make-A-Wish stuff where it's like they sign the kids to a 1-day contract and they're on the team.
Yeah.
It's maybe something along those lines, where you get to experience something with the team, because I think that's one thing that has definitely changed, in my opinion, in sports, is like it's definitely moved towards trying to get more fan experiences involved. But I think they need to continue to move that even farther, because like it's something that I've always thought, like if a fan can experience something with a player, that's like a story they're going to their lives. Like all the you don't remember the random game that you went to where nothing exciting happened, but like you're gonna always remember the game where you get to meet Mike Trout, or you get to meet, I don't know, LeBron or John Moran or anything along those lines. Like those, even just random things like that. Like I think that's the experience where it's like meeting players, getting involved in kind of the team or the things, in my mind at least, that I would think of.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I tying it back to Mike Trout. He's an Eagles fan. I'd like to sit. I don't care about the IG stuff, but I'd like to sit and watch the game with him. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Mookie says he would run the sweat mop on the NBA court. DG would be in to dry the Zamboni. So that's wild. Stooks would he won a Bronson beer with the Winnipeg Jets. So it was great just to sit down and talk to players like normal people. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Man. Getting
exactly.
players
It's
outside
great.
of like if you can get them out and where they can kind of relax a little bit, and no phones, no cameras, none of that stuff, just be cool. And I would assume the player would be a lot more receptive to that. So, but so like I said, these pieces are all starting to come together. Bronny James recently signed a deal with Topps to, it's going to be his first autograph. He's going to be part of the McDonald's All-American game. And I saw it's 14 years since they hadn't released cards. They did them, I believe, last year. But this set, it's a Topps Chrome set, and it's going to feature the first autograph of Bronny James. And Bronny, like him, whatever, indifferent, this kid, his dad is pretty famous. And I'm not sure how good Bronny is as a whole, but I mean, at last I checked, he is a 4-star recruit. So his game has been improving. So, and he's looking to, he's supposedly an NBA prospect. So, but the big deal here is that this is going to be his first autograph. He signs with Topps. Dad signs with Upper Deck. What's going to happen here? Where are we headed? What's going on? Victor, what are you thinking with Bronny signing with Topps?
I think this is the part that gets really interesting, right? With renegotiation of contracts. Maybe we're sitting at the table with Upper Deck. We got Topps. We got Bronny here as a chip. I think it was a good sign by Bronny. He signed with the right company, in my opinion. But also, is this all part of the play? This is where it gets really, really interesting, and we can read between the lines and speculate. But man, we'll see.
Yeah. It's like I said, the pieces are falling together. You got Clutch, you got LeBron, you got Bronny, you got Topps getting the NBA license soon. So I don't know, but Adam, what are you thinking there?
Yeah, I think it is part of kind of the plan. Like if you look at Fanatics and how they've ran their business over the past few years, like they're not always making the move that's necessarily obvious to everybody. Like, Topps was supposed to go public over, I think a couple of years ago, and then Fanatics kind of swoops in and grabs all the licenses, and that sort of like nix that deal, and then they were able to buy Topps at a much significant discount because they weren't a public company. So like I think the secondary moves that Fanatics are making at least I hope that they point towards maybe a more like a bigger move. In this scenario, obviously, it's getting LeBron. Like, we don't know exactly what's going to happen there. But I think too, like, I'll be interested to see if they come out with any like Sierra Canyon cards for Bronny James as well. Like, I know that a lot of people will say, well, the college and the high school cards don't really hold much weight, but I do think that there is a significant difference between these types of cards and the like college cards that Panini was coming out with after the players are getting drafted. Because Mikey Williams is another high school player that I've kind of followed a little bit. And I bought some of his, like, there was a Bowman set that came out with Mikey Williams, and I bought some of those cards. So, obviously I'm someone that's in the boat that likes those types of cards and thinks that over the long term, like, if you look at what's going to be considered the first card, because I think the rookie card debate is sort of always ongoing, and it's always changing and moving. And I think with each individual player, there's almost a conversation of like, what is the rookie card? Like, yeah, there's the flagship card for baseball, there's the Bowman Chrome card for baseball, but it's like, if you look at like a couple of years ago, there was I think it was Topps Finest that had Wander Franco on the base checklist, even though he didn't have a rookie card until the next year. So like, some people consider that the rookie card because it was his first card on a base checklist. So like, maybe the All-American set won't be for everybody, but I think it's going to be one that, for Bronny James, if it's one of his first cards, I think it will hold a little bit of weight. I think it'll be interesting over the next year or so to see what other sets he gets included in. If like this NIL deal is just this McDonald's card and he doesn't have any cards until he's a pro, I think that would be I don't know if that's the right move. I'm hoping that the move is like, they get him in here and then they get him in whatever college basketball set. Like, they've only come out with Bowman U for football, at least at the moment. But I think like a Bowman U basketball set is definitely something that has to be coming down the pipeline, I would imagine. Yeah. The names, I think, in college football are definitely bigger than the names that are in college basketball right now. But like, if a Zion, the high school he went to was, I pulled it up, Spartanburg. Like, if there was a Zion Spartanburg card, I'm sure that would probably be just as valuable as his like Prism card. Or if there was like a Zion Duke card that came out before he was drafted, I'm sure that card would be just as valuable. So I think it's a big shift, I think, in the sort of rookie card college landscape for sports cards. And I mean, over the past few years, we've kind of seen the landscape change a ton in cards. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to think that, like, Bronny is going to, like, if he goes to Ohio State or wherever he ends up going, if he has like a college card, a first Bowman college card, like, that would be a good card. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Sort of. I think the next move is going to be more important than this one, I guess. But I think that this is just the first step, at least I hope, in the right direction of getting Bronny in more sets.
Yeah, and I think you're right on there, Adam. I'd like to add too, I think it's to me, it would be very advantageous for Fanatics to pursue that upper deck license with Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and I think there's Tiger Woods even in there.
Yep.
I think pursuing that and buying that contract out is in their best interest. I'm sure they would love to purchase it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would. So this is why like we talked about the changing landscape where we first started with that autographed vintage card. So Adam, as you're talking, somebody said Victor's head's about to explode, but it's the way that the hobby is changing. It's evolving for the better, for the worse. I don't whatever. Everybody has a different opinion, but the fact that you can consider this Topps card the rookie card, and Victor's like, well, no, it might be no. Well, this is what this is what the old thinking was, or whatever. I don't want to say old thinking, but this is the way it was before, things like that. So Victor, when you hear all these things about the Topps and the Bowman and this and that, as a rookie card specialist, what what are you thinking as far as like how the hobby was, how the hobby is, and where the hobby's going as far as these rookie cards? And now, I mean, like you said, the debate back in the day, the 55 Clemente, that's it. That's the rookie card. There's no debate. So now we open the doors for more and more. But where do you think we're headed as far as where we were, where we are, and where we're going in terms of
Yeah.
the rookie card itself.
Well, I had to wet my whistle for this one. So Adam had to peel back the scab. So here we go. It's not so much, I don't think it's not so much what does Victor think or what does Victor say? It's what do the rules say?
Mhm.
Okay. And now the rules that were dictated by the Players Association in 2005, there's a standard that they have to follow. Now they can change those standards whenever they want, I'm sure, right? Because they own the hammer. So that's fine. They can change the rules, but you got to communicate those rules to collectors. I think would be the fair thing to do. To just throw stuff out there that doesn't make sense with hobby history of the rookie card and how it's evolved over the years. They can do whatever they want because they have the express written authority. But communicate those, and my expectation is that they follow um, what the Players Association set out in 2005. Most of the time, they get that right, but not always. And then I would also say that there's another set of rules that were established by by the hobby and Beckett Publications, and that was the standard set for many decades. And so the Players Association, they're not bound by those rules, and neither is the card manufacturers, right? Because those
Mhm.
are hobby rules. But I would also say and advise to please listen to the hobby and the and the history that it has with the rookie card, and maybe we can transition and evolve all of it together. To just forsake certain things is unfair, in my opinion. And I think I do understand that they have all the authority, but and I do understand that there's the landscape is changing, especially with NIL coming on board. But I hope that they communicate those changes. I'm good with the standard, whatever standard they set, but just set it.
Yeah.
And this just nonchalant, blatant, broad plastering rookie cards on 2,500 cards is outrageous.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to track because then it just like you
Yeah.
said, it opens up the debate of which one is the real one. Well, if there was only one, there would be no debate. But I can understand then why, that, but then you have your high end product, your mid end product, and your low end product. Um, so then, the guy that says he can't afford, if the real rookie card is only in the $8,000, $10,000
Right.
box, somebody can't. So, just I never have a chance at that. So I mean, I can understand why, as far as that goes. But yeah, man, I mean, that's that's
It should be structured. It should be established by a set of boundaries, not on um opinion,
Mhm.
and not on the dollar. It's let's set up some boundaries, let's set some guidelines, however it may be, and let's establish a foundation for the rookie card going forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think too, like the market sometimes determines what the most valuable card of a player is. Like,
And that's fine. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if maybe Fanatics will come out with like it almost seems like it should be more obvious which is the card that is like considered maybe the rookie or the best rookie for players. Like it feels like Topps over the past few years, and I'm hoping maybe Fanatics is going to change this a little bit. They've sort of been flying on the seat of their pants, I think, in some cases with players that are getting rookie cards. And I understand that there's a deadline of like when players are going, if a player makes their debut after a certain date, they're going to be in the next year.
Mhm.
But it's like, it seems like that should be like a date that like it should be like Top should come out with a date and say this is the date where if a player, they need to say it. They don't need to just it shouldn't be we just assume it because of the way that they're doing like the Topps Now debut cards. I think it should probably be something that's like Topps or Fanatics comes out and says if X player doesn't make their debut before May 10th or whatever, then they're going to be included in the next year. It shouldn't be something that we have to like, I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be something we have to figure out, but at the same time, it's it's kind of fun in a
Yeah.
way. Like it's kind of fun doing the research and figuring it out. But like, I think like Victor was saying too, like it should be something that's more defined by the company that's coming out with the cards. And one other point that I have here too is like, sports cards, whether we like it or not, is a market. So like it shouldn't be up to the market to determine what these types of things are. And I think same thing with like print runs. Like I think it's not really the same conversation, but I think like a defined print run of a certain set, if the cards are trading and they're selling and people are buying them and selling them, like I think that we need more information on the back end of like how many cards there are. And I know people hate comparing it to like the stock market, but like there are a certain amount of shares that are available of a certain company. Like I think it should be sort of similar with sports cards. Maybe not every set, but at least some sets where there's maybe a more defined print run of numbers that kind of can guide people in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely would be nice to know that. DG says here, rookie cards are always up for debate. There were rookie cards and prospect cards and minor league cards that pop up. If a player is popular / in demand, new earlier stuff will emerge. So I think that's it's
Yeah, no,
any
and that's how come I've I love the concept that Consi has created, and it's a template that I love and follow, and it's very simple. And it's you have pre-rookie cards, you have true rookie cards, and you have rookie year cards, and there's just and I've even added post-rookie theme, because you got cards that came out after the fact that are labeled with a rookie design, and people consider those rookie cards, and it's like, guys, that's a third year card. That's not a rookie card. But I think establishing that type of logical structure to the rookie card, adopt what ComC's been doing for years, and it makes sense.
There you go. Hopefully, maybe Omar Wilkes is watching and he can say, "Yeah, man, this guy Victor, he's got a couple good ideas, man."
Yeah, no, no, and it's not, and it's not that, I'm not, when because I call myself Victor the Rookie Card Specialist on YouTube, and people think that, I'm considering myself some kind of expert, and that's not. I don't have every single answer to every single rookie card question that people have, and that's not the angle I'm coming from. The angle I'm coming from, if you look up the word specialist, is somebody who has devoted themselves to one subject, and I have devoted myself into the evolution, the history of the rookie card from its inception to where it's at today. That's the area of passion that I have, the area of study per se. Because I don't know, some people will start, well, what was 1957, the third baseman for the Mets? What was his rookie card? Man, I don't know that information, but if you give me a chance and research it, I can probably give you an answer, but that's not the angle where I'm coming from. When I say specialist, I'm talking about just devoting myself to the evolution and the history of where the rookie card is at.
Yeah, well, much appreciated. I know you do a lot of work, and the work continues. So keep on keeping on. But I wanted to transition. Get your pocketbooks out, man. Wallets, checkbooks, whatever, man. There's a price on Luka's head, and we're talking about the 2018 Prism Black 101 Luka Doncic rookie card. There was the initial bounty put out on this thing was $1.5 million. And I think I saw somebody then went, I'll go 1.6. And now I'm seeing a $2 million number being floated around. So Adam, I'll kick it to you first, man. What are you thinking on this whole Luka thing? And are you a player?
Yeah, I mean, I think just if you look at the names that were the people that were putting out the bounties, like I think over the past few years, the bounty has I'd be interested to see how many of the bounties actually followed through with buying the card. Like, I know there was the bounty on like the Zion 1/1 National Treasures. There's, there's been bounties here and there. So I would be interested to know, like, if the card has been pulled, like, would Josh Luber actually pay 1.6, or was that just something that he was saying to, draw up some attention towards the card? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I think Backyard Breaks potentially was one of the people who was doing the first bounty. And so maybe they're trying to sell some, Prism boxes or something along those lines. So, I mean, I don't know. It's in my opinion, I would be interested. I don't know what the number of bounties versus how many people have actually bought. So like, I think it's obviously something that gets into headlines. It gets Instagram people and like Twitter, and it gets kind of the people going a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the card actually has, in my opinion, this may be a conspiracy theory. I think the card has been pulled probably, and someone has it, but they don't want to say that they have it because then it sort of devalues or potentially, and I don't even know if this is true. It potentially may devalue the price of the boxes themselves. Like, because if you know that the card, that's the number one card, has been pulled, like what happens? And it's similar to like what happened with the LeBron triple logo, man. Like there was, those flawless cases were going for like $15K for a couple weeks. And then the LeBron triple logo, man, gets pulled. And, we saw a drop in that price. So I don't know, if we are going to see potentially like or it could even be like something where the card gets pulled in the next few weeks. Like maybe it's the same thing with that LeBron triple logo, man. Like maybe it has been pulled and they're trying to drum up some attention before they release it. I think something similar actually happened with the 1/1 Mbappe auto out of that, that super expensive PSG box. Yeah. I think from what I saw, people said that it was pulled, but the account or whatever didn't announce that they had pulled the card until a couple weeks later. I don't know. Maybe it's the same sort of thing where they're trying to drum up some attention for those boxes so they can sell them. And in my prediction, I think, and this is, I don't know, maybe not happens, but like in a couple weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that the 1/1 has been pulled and that this is maybe a last ditch effort, unfortunately, to try and get the most amount of value out of those 2018 boxes, even though because the card's already been pulled and they know it's been pulled. So I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead, Victor, because I almost pound for pound, point for point agree with you there. I'm like, I often wonder when these bounty things come out, what really is going on. But go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, I don't know, just a couple of things that I have on this topic, and that is, so I saw something on Instagram where there was a video where somebody pulled it, and they were like slamming it on the desk or something. Is that a fake? What is that about?
Probably. Yeah.
I think that was fake. I actually also got duped by a Photoshop photo of the card. I thought that the card was pulled and I reposted the person's Instagram. And then like a couple reached out to me like this was a Photoshop picture. I'm like, damn, they got
me. Yeah, okay. There was a video. I think it was cardboard, but the person pulled it and then he starts out of excitement. He like slams it on the desk with the palm of his hand. So I don't know what that was probably fake too. But yeah, these bounties, I mean, they drum up interest, right? And excitement. It's like everybody's really starting to pursue these things. But I mean, the wax prices are really high. And I don't know why they don't purchase the boxes, whatever's left, who's ever selling them, just purchase those. It probably costs you less than the amount offered, right? I don't know what they're up to, but
that's exactly what I have here. I was like, if you're willing to pay $2 million for one card, because if it hasn't been pulled by, I mean, obviously you never know where all the boxes are. Somebody could, so if you were able to access all the boxes,
they're in Nat Turner's office. That's
yeah. I mean, I often think like, when these things come up, obviously, I mean, we're talking about it. So if the goal is to get people talking about it, it's already, bang, they've already hit that. But yeah, like I've never seen the bounties come out. I've never seen anybody actually pay the bounty. Where, I mean, maybe if you don't want to film that, but I it's and Rex says, has anybody ever looked into the legality of these bounties?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. You guys know anything on that?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like the giveaway thing where it's like if you say that you're giving something away and then you don't, you are like you're saying that you're going to give something away. I think that makes you legally obligated to actually give it away. And if you don't, you can get like in trouble with like the SEC and like the people behind the scenes. I think too, I'm wondering like, I wonder how this is maybe a scenario where it's like, I wish I knew what the print run was for this Prism product. Like, I wonder, it's the same thing with like, the 1986 Fleer, like how many of these boxes are still unopened? Like that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like how many of these Prism boxes are there still out there? Like we've, obviously we know the lore of the 2018 Prism card. It's like, it's one of the highest print run rookie Prism cards, and it's like almost triple the amount from 2017. And then, the Zion is like one of the highest graded cards in all of history of sports cards already. So it's like, I wonder how many boxes are unopened still, because if you look at how many cards there are, like just in general, like how many PSA 10s, and I guess we don't necessarily know PSA 10s compared to how many of the print run there's you could maybe sort of do the math, I think, at some points, but like I just wonder how many of the boxes exist that are unopened still, compared to like how many were open. And I also think, too, one other point, I think with 2018, like I don't know if necessarily people were buying boxes the same way in 2018 that they do like in 2019 and 2020. Like I have a bunch of random 2019 and 2020 blasters that I just never opened. Like I wonder if people were doing that in 2018 as well, or because we also don't know how many blasters there are too. So it's like it's a whole thing, which actually it might not be able to come out of a blaster now that I'm thinking about it. But either way, I don't know how many boxes there are. And I wish that was something that was more clear in sort of this hobby landscape of like how many of these cards are there actually.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll be getting that information anytime soon.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. But guys, before we get out of here, definitely wanted to thank everyone in the chat. As always, it's a blast seeing all the comments and stuff. But before we get out of here, Victor, let everybody know where they can find you and your content and everything you have going on.
Yeah, any of the Instagram, Twitter at true_RCS, and on YouTube at Victor the Rookie Card Specialist.
Awesome. Adam?
Yeah, it's Heroes for Sale basically everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and if you're watching and you want to follow this stream and then also follow us on Hobby Hotline, that would be great as well. We're trying to kind of grow and make things as large as we can, so we can bring more content out to the audience. So we would definitely appreciate that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Philly Joe says, thanks, guys. Have a great one. Have a great one as well. I'm Tony, half of the Cousins Collectibles podcast. You can catch me on Instagram at Cousins_Collectibles. Myself and my cousin Oz. We release podcasts every Monday and Fridays. So definitely check us out. We have a good time with that. Fellas, it's been awesome hanging with you guys. Like you said, man, we're keep building with this Hobby Hotline thing, man. So we appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and let's onward and upward. You guys, cheers. Keep collecting those rookie cards. I mean, that's
pun intended.
Yeah, for sure, man. But that's always going to be something fun, man. We like, listen, if we always have the NL debate, then we always have something to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So, but with that said, thank you everybody for checking us out. Catch you on the next. Oh, catch the Tuesday episode live, 9 p.m. Host still kind of be determined. So, again, appreciate you guys, and see you. Catch you on the next one.